Decent.
Oh, it's decent.
Solid.
We've never lost this map in this season.
That's decent.
It's decent.
So,
I think we're going to do okay, boys.
we're going to jump straight into the banning here. As you can see, FaZe has already gotten rid of Hibana. Nomad going to be banned out by LeStream. That is a very common ban these days. Allows for a lot more aggression on the defensive side. A lot of plays that otherwise would just be, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Oh, getting rid of that Nomad, pretty influential. Valkyrie, wow, that is a target ban and a half. And Parker, you were talking about that earlier, is target bans.
We were talking about this technically off stream.
Yeah.
Well, I was still talking about it earlier.
It was earlier. It was just a little bit ago. But Parker was bringing up the fact that LeStream, they don't ban the same thing every day.
When we dive through the information before we go into the actual matchup itself, one of the most, I guess, time-consuming but still very elucidating things that we do is operator bans, map bans, etc. And when you look over FaZe, FaZe is very routine in what they ban. The Hibana ban does not surprise me at all, number one, because this is Bank, and number two, because for the longest time, she was the most banned attacker operator from FaZe. In fact, it was actually the joint Japanese forces in the Hibana and Echo bans that characterized FaZe for most of the season. Now, this changed when Ion came onto the roster. They started banning Maestro on defense. But LeStream don't have much consistency in what they ban.
Yeah.
If you look, they've banned Dokkaebi, Mira, Echo, Ying. It's crazy actually the amount of different operators that they banned. I think Dokkaebi was their most banned attacker at 3 bans, if I remember correctly, over the season. It was wild the amount of bans that LeStream had done, and they're always targeted. They're always counter bans to their opponents.
And that's the conclusion. It's really simple. It's just they are trying to get rid of what their opponents really enjoy using. In this match in particular, they're getting rid of a Nomad to open up their flanks, and they're getting rid of a Valkyrie because they know, yeah, any Latin America team, you get rid of Valkyrie, that's their primary fragger on defense. That's a specifically Latin American trait. And, well, I'm sure LeStream will be plenty comfortable without a Valkyrie. So, moving forward into this match, see, quite an interesting lineup here brought by the defense. 3 operators brought with the intent of denying that plan at default spot. It's your Maestro, your Mira, and your Smoke. And I guess you could count the Pulse, who will be support in that same endeavor. You've got one counter of the opponent, that's going to be Jaeger. Catch those throwables, those projectiles. On the side of the attack, one thing that's very important to note is the fact that Jackal has gone unbanned on a map like Bank. He is going to be brought almost every round.
Particularly strong and used by quite a wide variety of regions. In fact, we actually saw Jackal's ban rate start to tick up. I believe it was North America where we saw it actually break into the top 5 for a brief period of time towards the end of the season. And a lot of that is counter bans, but also Jackal holds one of the best guns in his hands, period. He's got smokes available. You know, he's a 2-speed, so you don't have to worry about him being too slow. He's got that secondary shotgun, which in a pinch can work in soft destruction. Let's say you're running a Zofia, let's say you're running a Buck, let's say you're running a Sledge, and one of them dies, and you have a Jackal. Not all hope is lost with that same soft destruction, even though he's not as proficient as the others. He brings an awful lot to the table, and of course on a map like Bank, he's great for roam clearing, that's his primary focus. Add all those together, and he's a potent fragger who has utility that can really help alleviate the problems that a good roaming team can present to you.
Yeah, and fragging is really, as we've talked about, as the analysts talked about, kind of the name of the game for this match. I mean, you're 2 teams that are well known for their fragging power, and it's just kind of going to come down to which one can be more powerful, I suppose, right in the moment. Hick's going to gather some information on those server stairs. You can see Ion playing Smoke, a little bit aggressive, and he's gonna fall back. Just like that. Gets droned out, and he'll decide to play safe. Probably the right call. Shield's been broken, and there's only a minute left here for LeStream, so you may as well play it safe.
As we saw in the Dark Zero and Empire matchup, it's really just a technicality to be able to open up this wall, and the side pressure that was going to come from LeStream is shut down by Astro, but he's traded off by Uno, so you see both of the teams lose one body in the ensuing fray. That happens with a minute still to go.
But wait.
Not to distract me, but the plan is going down. Alfama is in, and there you go, the C4 will hit. Yuna's able to take him down and then add insult to injury. There goes the smoke canister too. Uno takes down Cameraman, but traded off by Yuna. That was 2 kills for the Jackal. From the back, Aces is able to eliminate Ion, who wasn't quite aware that this entire push from LeStream is coming over towards lockers. It's unorthodox to say the least, but there's Yuna on the stairs to try and bail out his team. Where Hicks will be is the real question. While he's inside, he can pick up that diffuser at his leisure and possibly rotate on out, but there's nobody that's watching over towards the gold side, except for Mav, who's gonna have the heartbeat of Hicks in his hands, and he's gonna coordinate quite well with Yuna. lock it down. They call those operators an anchor, and Yuna is an anchor for just about any team you find him on. The very first round is going to go to FaZe with some very good coordination, and despite that brazen play by LeStream to go for a lockers push, it doesn't really work out.
Yuna certainly the hero of that round, and what a save it was. I mean, geez, the plant going down, default spot inside of lockers. I say default spot, a lockers plant does not happen very often, but it was about to. We were getting close there. It looked like it was going to be successful, but here you go. Perfect timing there from Yuna to take down Alfama, and then follows that up with a few kills of his own just with the Vector. Beautiful job there on the anchor, and it's a good salvage to start things off. 4K as well for Yuna in the first round. Now, that rush from LeStream very nearly worked, and that's I think important to note is the fact that we saw a rush up those main stairs by the Jaeger, and that was a definite mistake from Astro. He tried to get aggressive, tried to go for the flank. Not entirely sure what he was thinking, to be honest. LeStream were ready on the flank watch, and they shut him down for it. That opened up an opportunity. As soon as that pick came from Jaeger, you could almost hear the call come out from LeStream. They don't have anyone to hold on to elevator hallway. We can push lockers. They dropped to the drop down that was opened by the Maverick earlier. They hit site. It was very simple. I love the seizing of the opportunity there from LeStream. It was just Yuna salvaging things that managed to thwart them.
And it's really fascinating when you look at the way that FaZe had to change things up. After the departure of Moringa and after, well, the departure of FaZe from the group stages in 6 Invitational, it was Moringa who departed that team. They picked up Ion, who's quite a promising person in Brazil. If you really looked at him, a lot of people think he has a ton of potential and the sky is the limit. And his ability to come onto this team almost seamlessly. And it was an integral part of the fact that FaZe went undefeated in the second half, 7-0. Yeah. Were the first loss that was handed to Immortals, the only undefeated team at that point in the second half of the season. The reason that Ion stepped onto this team was also his flexibility. Moringa could flex, sure, but they mostly kept him in hard support roles. Ion, if you look at the operators that he's played, is capable of flexing onto attack, putting Yuna in more of the hard breach support roles, and possibly having the rest of the team work around that while being a steady anchor on defense.
Yeah, he got brought on only 2 months ago, and he came out of the gate swinging. You got to be proud of that. And we've seen more and more of that, newer players coming into Pro League like Ion and really making a splash. I mean, Ion's not totally new. He played for T1 before you. But anyway, moving on. FaZe Clan going to the top floor. They're in a good spot right now in that they've not had any of these walls opened up just yet. You can see that cameraman now playing Mira is waiting for an opportunity to go for a C4, potentially a run out there from storage, and you can see LeStream has detected that. Oh, okay. It looks like the Evil Eye is put in a position to potentially deny this wall, and the melee holes are in an endeavor to do that. No, I was curious. Not sure what the plan is there. Unreinforced wall. Kind of odd setup.
The wall goes, though, and it also sounds like a C4 has been expended. It's the nitro cell that was tossed out from cameraman's Mira. So you do lose one of those explosives. You still have a second in the hands of Pulse.
Okay, I was wrong. The wall was reinforced. Pardon me.
That's okay. We all make mistakes, Michael. But you've got the walls open, or one wall open of CEO now. Very similar to that CCTV takedown stairs. You're going to open up the walls. It's mostly a technicality. A lot of teams don't contest it as much. It's what happens in the interim. Yuna will find his 5th kill, an impressive shot onto Rise, which will shut down the Zofia, and with a minute left, will give FaZe an advantage heading into the final stretch.
Now Yuna, that's 5 kills for him over 2 rounds. That nade almost takes down Yuna, though. Good job there, but not enough. LeStream looking for some picks. They're used to getting them. They're not going to, though, in the first 2 minutes of this round. They're waiting patiently for somebody from FaZe to peek and give an opportunity away, but it's just more and more attrition on the side of LeStream as Astro takes down Una in the main hallway. Easy push here for the Maestro. He's looking for a second. Astro, a beautiful shot there onto Hicks, and he goes for a third, but he won't get it. Yuna's the one to get his own second, leaving just aces in a 1 versus 5. He'll hot breach and die, and that's it. FaZe put 2 rounds in a row. Beautiful job on the defensive bank.
I mean, even without those statistics, we know what Latin America is to bank. And while it's maybe fallen out of favor within the region recently, it's still always been one of the most consistent maps for them. And when you have 2 teams that are entering with a perfect record on bank, well, something's got to break at some point. Now, as we saw in the Dark Zero Empire matchup just a couple minutes ago, on bank, expect a pretty close contest. Some defense wins on some sites, attackers win on the other. we are still technically in a defender-sided meta, so expect the defense to do better than the attackers by and large. But really, when you look at it, the first 2 rounds for LeStream have been lifeless.
Yeah, and 6 kills over 2 rounds for Yuna individually. Just standing up, Astro with his 3, and, 1 on cameraman. You don't even need the whole roster of FaZe to contribute just yet. We'll get to that point, but not quite there right this minute. So, FaZe having a very good run, as you can tell. Yuna's really finding his home on that Mira. We're going to go to Tellers now. Tellers is going to be defended from the top floor, as we've talked about before. You need to at least delay the attackers when they're trying to clear upstairs. You can see that there's a Twitch being brought here. No Jackal for LeStream. And why? The Mira's been a problem, and they're trying their best to deal with it. Now, I would find it incredibly surprising if FaZe allowed the Twitch drones to get through to those Mira windows, but then again, it is a roam on the top floor, and the Mira windows are likely to be set up along that roam, so there's going to be less manpower to watch for the Twitch drone, so it's possible, certainly possible, for Hicks to get a nice drone in there. We'll come down to some good planning on his part, I'm sure.
I know the kills aren't everything, but LeStream is just going to go for broke. They're all in the site. Oh my god! Yuna will shut down Uno, but right now, LeStream has full control. Being battled back, though, is Ion as he guns down Rise, and Hicks is there too, and this is extraordinarily messy. Alfama is in now as well. What is going on? It's a plan in the middle of the site, and there's nobody nearby to do much. Where's FaZe going to go? They'll peel off the plant, but it looks like Alfama will go for it yet again, with Hicks possibly doing some covering work. Nobody's any the wiser, as there you go, it will go down, and I think this will confuse FaZe quite an awful lot. Where cameraman Astro and Mavar is the real question. There's some shots from the MP5 of Mav that will go on through, and it will finish off Hicks, as Aces sees another body himself, trying to contest inside of the staff area. Aces will now head into admin area and just hold off while Alfama is nestled inside of the site. And Aces just waiting for Astro to push him on up. That's exactly what the Jaeger will do. Alfama finds cameraman, takes him down, pistol out. Oh, Aces, a beautiful shot! Oh my god, 2 very quick kills with Aces with the pistol on out. And LeStream goes for broke. The gamble works out. What a round from them.
Wow, that's some amazing pistol play from Aces, often referred to as one of the best fraggers, not only in Europe, but in the world. That's Aces standing out in that moment in time. Nearly a team ace. Only person not to get a kill there on the side of LeStream was Uno. Aces had to get those 2. But overall, well, I'm not going to say good strategy. It worked, but that was just a rush straight into sight, and it almost got shut down, very nearly. Nice try there from FaZe to lock it out, but ultimately, again, the fragging power from LeStream, we've talked about it, and it really is something to note, is that, yeah, they can just walk into sight, take fights, and win them, and hey, win rounds off of it. That's the first one for LeStream, though. Just starting out on this scoreboard. Still 2-1 in the favor of FaZe. And, well, there's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to that round. To be honest, it was pretty much just a rush from Ali, and one late flank from Hicks in the main lobby.
It's fascinating how that worked out. They just sprinted right on in. From Ali.
I think it just comes down to the fact that they read that there were roamers on the top floor. I mean, the roaming strategy upstairs is super common. It's on Tellers, it's almost essential these days, and given how common it is, I'm guessing LeStream actually were pre-prepared to... Oh, that sounds weird. They were prepared, though, for an eventual roam on a Teller's defense on the top floor.
Saying like pre-prepared as if
pre-prepared, yeah.
Like a microwave dinner.
I like saying redundant things. But yeah, no.
Pop it in the microwave, 2 minutes. Beep, it's done.
Yep. No, but that strategy was clearly just set up in advance by LeStream. I mean, yeah, if your opponent is going to roam heavily on the top floor, you have an opportunity, and LeStream sees that opportunity. I doubt it'll ever work again, but they have balanced things out here a little bit. A little bit.
So it's going to be another spawn over in the alley by Alfama. He's going to be all on his lonesome with that diffuser, trying to head on in, and he's going to rush in again to meet the rest of his team. LeStream are so fast, 40 seconds. They've been able to take control of the Skylight Stairwell. Now they're going to have no problem getting the hatch as well, and Mav will fall off, who's playing beneath it.
But I think they haven't cleared the roamer in CEO, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw a body in there. Yes, indeed, I did. It's Astro. He's in a position to easily flank his opponents because he wasn't droned out. He might even get a free kill right here and now. And yeah, there it is. Rise goes down. That's Capital. Wow. Unfortunate mistake made there by LeStream. Not fully droning out Bank. You hate to see it, but it does happen. And that'll put FaZe in a great spot. But Astro does go down. However, he got a Capitao for a Jaeger. That is a win.
Huge victory. Massive trade for them, and LeStream are going to find themselves losing their only set of smoke on what is a site that almost always inevitably needs smoke in order to pull off a successful plant for most teams. Now, mind you, the caveat to that is that a lot of teams will just bait out right where you see that exothermic charge going off in what is referred to as default plant spot. Well, you'll walk in, you'll try to plant in the opening that was created there, giving us a great example of exactly where I'm talking about. And you don't necessarily need smoke for that particular instance, but it's very easy for your nitro cells and your toxic canisters to do great work. And of course, there's an echo on the board. Tons of plant denial here if you look at FaZe Clan's lineup.
So this pre-fire that you just saw Uno committing to is where he knows the smoke to be. And here it comes, the C4, but it's shut down by Uno. Beautiful shot there. It's not going to allow the plant, though, because there are plenty of backups here for FaZe Clan. They got the Yokai drones, they got the gas canisters, they have Pulse's C4 still. So there are options here for FaZe, but they are being countered very handily.
But there's still 40 seconds. There's only one toxic canister that's left that can be thrown out from the smoke. And other than the nitro cell that you see on the Pulse, you're going to rely an awful lot on Cameraman staying alive, which for the time being seems to be pretty easy. There isn't much of a contest on the Cameraman's location, and if those Yokais can just continuously exist, they're going to be so valuable in the dying seconds. But pulling a rabbit out of his hat, Cameraman with 2, but he's distracted. Can't really do much. Mav takes out Alfama, and LeStream are in dire straits. It's an explosive end to the diffuser, and then he puts matters into his own hands with the UMP, and Mav will pick up 2 kills to end the round for FaZe Clan. What a triumph this has been for them so far on defense, on Bank.
Yeah, wow, that round seemed to be straying the direction of LeStream. It looked like we were going to have LeStream just, walk away with it because they were very easily dealing with that counter-plant utility. But then that 2-piece on the main stairs by Cameraman, I mean, wow. Should not have happened, should not have resulted in, it just shouldn't have happened. But it did. Uno with a great shot there. He didn't actually have to look from that angle, by the way. It was a lot easier for him. Cameraman, here it is, the double piece, the drop shot. You don't see these often, but here it is to counter out the reload. Beautiful job. That saved the round right there. And it was a nice job by LeStream to double up on flank watch from main stairs, but that just wasn't enough because Cameraman hits his shots. And Mav on the Pulse. Nothing to counter that Pulse. Unfortunate to see. No Thatcher there for a brief window of opportunity. Allowed for some great information from Mav, followed up by denial of the diffuser plant.
I mean, with what's being brought out from FaZe right now, a Thatcher would solve a lot of these issues on that CCTV site. Number one, the EMP disables the cardiac sensor, as you noted. It also happens to disable any possible evil eye cams that might be in play, as there's a Maestro. It also takes out the Yokais as well. There's a lot of things that a simple Thatcher would really aid on the side of LeStream, but they haven't wanted to run with that. That's a questionable decision for what we've seen so far. It might just not be an operator that they really enjoy having in their wheelhouse on Bank, though we do know that Thatcher does get brought from LeStream on other maps.
Yeah, it's true. And another fun fact is I have been proven wrong. We have not been seeing Jackal very much at all here from LeStream. They are jumping from operator to operator, seemingly confused about what they want to bring here. They're trying to find the right tools for the job. Thus far, it's been a struggle for LeStream, and, well, they haven't found those right tools. They're working on it, though. I'm sure eventually they will get it. That's the name of the game for LeStream, is flexibility. One Yokai drone, or rather, shock drone, destroyed. And it was right before it was able to take down one of those evil eyes. And that's a pretty important pick there for FaZe, as there's not only evil eyes, but also Yokais in play here to defend, as well as mirror windows, honestly.
Oh, what a great coordinated effort, disoriented before he sees his own life flash before his eyes. Uno, who was so triumphant in his entry through the lobby, will be no more. Lying on top of that spiral staircase, sliding down towards the bottom, as Astro will just be anchored on in the elevator with a great angle and a very powerful gun, being able to lob shots quite a long distance, similar to an artillery cannon.
It's a good angle here for Alfama. He knows that there's somebody playing by that reception desk, just waiting for somebody to peek into his line of sight. It's a dangerous position to play, but it can net some great results. Yuna is the one who is trapped there, and he's trying to hold on to the main stairs. Hicks pushing up there, Rise droning Hicks in.
But there's a crossfire between the Maestro and the Echo, and there's no right decision here for Hicks. He's got to just get a little lucky. Evil Eye calls out, and there's the push from Yuna. Rise with the refrag, but it's expected, and ooh, a double piece for Rise. Beautiful job there. He knows someone's playing by Garage, and he's going to do his best to get rid of the Evil Eye and disrupt Astro. Here's Astro's position, though. He still has a dream line of sight to hold on to this push by Banana. If he can take down one for himself, then it won't be a terrible exchange. And he will, just there. That's his second in the round as well, so great hold from the Garage. He'll even drop, rather I say, the elevators. He's on main stairs and doing more damage. Rise lit up in a difficult position.
The wall will go as Alfama and Rise are the only hope of LeStream for the time being. Astro still being ever so elusive as he'll now head all the way towards Skylight Stairwell, very far back. Alfama gets pushed up to supply though because of the toxic canisters and will find a kill onto Ion in the interim. Standing on top of the desk, Alfama will go for the plan as Mav is below and Alfama losing some HP. The Pulse beneath him, he has to be very wary of the fact that there's still a Nitro cell in the hands of the Pulse, waiting for it to possibly come out. But amidst the bomb, it's a successful kill for Astro as Alfama had no coverage.
Oh, he downed him!
Downed, but he can withstand, pick himself back up. Does anybody know his position? Well, it doesn't really matter. You only have a tiny bit of HP, and Astro will take the rest of it away from him. Alfama looked like he would be safe on top of that CEO desk, but it was not to be, and FaZe will take their 4th round of 5. It'll be their very final defense. 4 kills for Astro on that round. What an impressive performance.
Yeah, beautiful plays from Astro, but also just everyone on FaZe, to be honest. They set themselves up to hold that push from Banana so very well. Excellent teamwork, gotta say. LeStream even had some amazing standout moments, like this, for example, where Rise manages to get a double kill and then, you know, stops Astro from applying pressure to his flank by using that lifeline. But it just wasn't enough. Seeing some really heavy punches being thrown by both squads, but ultimately FaZe, the ones coming out heavily on top. Now, moving forward from that last defense, it just doesn't seem like anywhere we go, there's much luck for LeStream. But one place where they have managed to get a win is Archives Tellers, where we find ourselves right this minute. So this is an opportunity, that's for sure. You can see FaZe are setting up for vertical play again, which means they're likely going to invest heavily in holding the top floor. And if they are not prepared for a rush, then LeStream might give them a rush. I think it's going to come down to how LeStream reads this round, though. And I seriously doubt to see 2 in a row.
I mean, realistically, there's not going to be another rush, right? Like,
right.
You can't expect that because FaZe is going to be very wary of it, and they will likely have some preparation to stop LeStream as they go to bulldoze their way on in. Unfortunately for us, it's very hard to dissect what could possibly happen here on Teller's Archives because the only instance of it so far was a strategy that is often considered a pocket strat and not something you can rely upon regularly, which is, well, rushing on into sight. And for the time being, it doesn't really look like LeStream is going to go for broke.
Maybe a main lobby take based on the spawns. That's what it looks like. We've got a few people going back alley, but primarily spawn towards ATMs.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
But it does appear to be the lobby as the main point of contact for both Hicks and Uno, being joined by Alfama as well, as they are all on drones and trying to figure out where you're going to see aces spawn in the back alley will go towards.
Curious what the plan is here for Alfama. He's moving over to Lone Office. He's going to be able to open up a crossfire, I suppose, but he's also exposed to anybody roaming top floor, and there are roamers top floor from FaZe. So this is definitely going to be tricky for LeStream to manage. This strategy works if you can stop the roamers on the top floor from pressuring you, but it's also hurt by not only those roamers, but the player on the mirror window, and he's gone. There goes Ion.
That was Ion playing, and he did manage to take a bit of HP off of Uno, but at the same time, you're going to be flirting with disaster. Oh, Astro from above. Astro and Yuna have absolutely dominated the standings so far for their team, and Astro will continue to do so and take out Hicks in the process. Now, with the electrical gadgets that are brought by FaZe, and IQ would be quite instrumental, but if you look at the lineup for FaZe, you're not really going to need her gadget that much. You're not dealing with any Evil Eyes, you're not dealing with any Echoes, you don't have to worry about too much other than ADS, and, well, I mean, you have to worry about Astro. He's going to take a second down, but there's not much that an IQ could have done to solve that. You lose aces in the process, and Astro will continue his reign of terror, picking up kills 9 and 10 so far in this round.
Yeah, he's doing great so far in this match, and you can see that there's still plenty of anchor presence here for FaZe, but they're going to lose one of the roamers upstairs. That's Mav. a call is made by FaZe. Fall off top floor. Play the site. It's 3-3. There's only a minute left for LeStream. LeStream is good at making little time like this work in a site take. They, however, will not be able to turn that vertical control into anything, really. There is one roamer still upstairs. That's Astro, looking for more frags. He's got all of the kills for his team this round. Yuno, playing by Cashbag, is doing his best to deny this entry, and he will be successful, but Astro's the one credited with the kill. There's Yuna shut down finally, and Astro not going to be able to get any more kills this round. Cameraman now the last one alive, but he will finish off Rise. It's just Uno and Camera in a 1 versus 1, but the plant is going down. Cameraman by open area. He doesn't know that this is happening, and he won't be able to deny it, which means he's going to have to work around a post plant. This is a tricky situation for any player, but it's made worse by the fact that Cameraman will die to a single bullet from Uno. There's the mirror window working against Uno, though. He's going to creep up on it, trying to get a position where he won't be exposed to it just underneath the window. It's clear that Cameraman does not have information. He's just looking for an opportunity. He's unlikely to find one, but he might get a little lucky. This vault, if he goes for it, will broadcast his intention and position, and the call's coming out from the drone. That's it. Uno will win the round. A 4K for him, and LeStream get another one.
Great ragdoll animation there. Very cheery.
Yeah. The fact that LeStream managed to get that win, though, I mean, that's 4-2 now. That's not amazing.
That was Ion that we see on the replay being a little bit too focused, blinded almost with the horse blinders on, staring right at Uno, and not really much else. And because that Hicks was able to get what was a pretty easy kill. A nice shot, but a pretty easy kill because Ion wasn't in a position to re-engage or fire back.
I mean, a good first half here for FaZe is my main takeaway. Uno, yeah, star of that round. Again, 4 kills. Really took it handily. Just walked into sight, got a bunch of kills, you know, like Uno does. And FaZe had a really good first half. There's not much more to say. LeStream are going to go on defense now. Often, I think people would say that defense on Bank is the advantaged side, so that is worth mentioning.
Uno bailed LeStream out of so many tricky situations, and while a lot of those rounds didn't end up going in LeStream's favor, it was still Uno there to try and keep the team in it. And, I mean, you can't fault Uno. He's been so consistent on this team. He was consistent on Ents when he was on it. He's consistent on LeStream. But the person who really needs to work out the rust and step up at the moment for LeStream, should they want to win Bank, falls on Aces' shoulders. Aces has the distinction of being usually one of the most aggressive and one of the most consistent players in all of Pro League. He's one of the best entry fraggers that we've seen as well statistically over the past couple seasons. And while, yes, sometimes he does get overshadowed by people on his team, and while he does get overshadowed by people within his region, he can still be brutally efficient and very effective at being able to take down anybody who comes his way. And against a team like FaZe, a team that is so good at landing their shots, you need to have somebody like Aces come alive. You can't just rely solely on Uno to really carry the weight. Everybody else outside of Uno on LeStream are all about the same at the moment. And like we say, well, kills don't matter the most. For Aces, you need to be able to get your kills. He needs to be able to rack it up on that scoreboard because that is his job.
You can also say it's really the kind of the story with LeStream. Is one of the things that I think a lot of people critiqued LeStream about when they first came together, which was actually not too long ago, is at the end of 2018. But we'll talk about that later. For now, Astro taking down Uno. It's a pretty good start. Legion gone. Got rid of all those potential goo traps that could have come out later. And, well, there's that kill. Just playing in open area, a little bit exposed, not a lot of information. It's unfortunate to see. But yeah, some more aggression from the defense at the top of server stairs.
Yeah, there's a cluster right now of FaZe over top of server as they've opened up the hatch and look to head on down, but LeStream is just sitting pretty inside of the site waiting. They've opened up the other hatch now as well inside of the office next to open area. So there's pressure that FaZe can apply as Astro, who has been the standout performer of this matchup, now heading into the sewers. And that's an interesting place for him to be. I mean, he didn't really need to go all that way where he could have just come down the stairs. He knows that Cameraman has full control open up a peephole into the wall that faces the Mira window, currently being anchored down by LeStream, just waiting ever so patiently. Now Cameraman will come back up to those hatches that you know that he likes to sit on top of, but he forgoes them and instead will head towards the main stairs. This is a very interesting rotate from FaZe here.
Well, looks like he's maybe going to open it late, but he's going to start things off with a juggle of the utility. Of course, FaZe knows they need to try and get rid of these gas canisters, C4s, etc., just to lighten the load when they go for an actual plan to default spot. They've only got 30 seconds to make this happen, and Hicks is playing the long angle from Garage to deny the plant. So someone from FaZe is going to have to win this fight, but it's going to be Hicks to win it against Ion. Beautiful angle play there. Just tapping away with that suppressed MP5, and it's working out great. Yuna going for the plant, though. Is there anyone to deny is the question. Alfama lands a beautiful shot. He's going to go for the rush, and he will deny that plant. Yuna shut down. Cameraman on the flank, though. He's not going to be able to do anything in regards to that diffuser. Mav also elsewhere, so looks like FaZe have pretty much lost this round. And based on time, a little bit too much deliberation on the side of FaZe, pardon me, they lose on time.
Is my brain not working? But Hicks threw the C4, it landed, and then he never activated it again.
I did not see.
From our perspective, it was sitting on the floor, and then Hicks just jumped up and went and got the kill on his own, or Alfama rather, not Hicks.
Maybe he was just trying to fake it out. If you're talking about Alfama, yeah, I think he was just trying to fake it out. Based on what he did, he just went for a straight rush. I mean, and it worked out great for him. Sometimes you don't need to actually kill them with the C4. Sometimes you just need to distract them. And with so little time on the clock, you may as well.
It was odd.
It was odd. Yeah,
it could have been a spectator thing.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it got shot. Something along those lines, but...
Did not get shot.
Okay, there you go. It didn't then.
Did not get shot.
Okay. So, whatever the case...
I could see it.
Whatever the case be, wasn't detonated either.
No, it wasn't.
So... Good rush, though, from Alfama, and he did manage to get those kills to deny the plant and get the plant cover. I think it was, yeah, probably just a split-second decision, like, hey, you know what? The C4 is going to distract them. I'm going to go for it. Now, moving to, looks like CEO here for LeStream, and the defense has been kinder to LeStream so far. Only one defense, though, to show.
Well, you noted that Bank is going to be mostly a defender-sided map.
Yes.
And because of this, we expect it to continue to go in that direction. The real question is going to be what happens after a CCTV and CEO defense. Now, CEO has emerged as the second most defendable site and has been going this way for
a long time.
About a year now, I would say, probably. Popularized by a team that was competing in this tournament, no longer is, which is Dark Zero and Evil Geniuses as well. Both of them employing the CEO defense in North America, and a couple teams in Europe doing so as well.
Also Latin America. I think it was pretty prominent in Latin America. Remember, we had the Bank era, and in fact, you could even credit FaZe Clan with helping with that.
Yeah. And the real story for me on all of these sites is how the mirrors have been getting played. And obviously Mira is going to be a focal point for a lot of teams, but you saw Yuna playing her so effectively, and now you saw the same thing from Alfama on one round, and you're in a position now where Mira and the way that those Mira windows are played is going to be pivotal on a CEO defense.
Yeah, Mira is hit and miss on importance on some maps these days, but on Bank, I'll forget about it. She's one of the most useful operators outright. The fact that she isn't banned here is, of course, pretty important because of that, and she will be played most rounds. Where her mirror windows face, you're going to have to adjust your strategy a little bit for every single time you're attacking. And in this case, there's no Twitch to counter them.
And FaZe banning out the Clash is a smart move because you know that we see LeStream play the Clash and do so effectively. And dealing with shields is particularly annoying for most teams. Most people who play against FaZe know that when Uni used to play on either the Blitz or the Montaigne. FaZe used to have those shield strategies alongside of Finka, so it wouldn't surprise me to see them not want to play against shields on their own. But that's what ultimately left this Mira available. And then, of course, the counterban from LeStream onto Valkyrie. So FaZe's presence inside of the main lobby has been known to the remaining members of LeStream that are looking for it. Aces has lost a bit of HP, as has Astro. So there's been some ensuing fire, and Aces is going to cast Astro as he heads up those spiral stairs. He's playing on the mirror window, and he has a lot of information right at his fingertips. And like I said, Aces needs to come alive if LeStream wants to take the wave and ride it on out. Yuna shuts down Uno, as Uno cannot pop up behind that Teller's counter. And that'll be Yuna continuing on with the good work that he's done in roles that don't necessarily require contributions on the scoreboard, but he's proving otherwise, and doing so quite well. A trade comes out as cameraman gets a kill traded off by Alfama. So this Mira, once again, is going to be of some importance. Alfama, another, takes down Mav, and it's LeStream who's coming alive on defense, looking like a CEO. Defense is going to be quite successful. Unlodged from that Mira window is going to be Aces and Rise. Will get a kill of his own to go alongside the two teammates. And it'll be a tie game now. FaZe's momentum vanishing as the sides swap out, and LeStream has been the one to pick it up.
FaZe a little bit confused. They seemed not sure where they wanted to hit from, apart from the one place where they couldn't, and that's the main lobby stairs. That red staircase, as it's often referred to as, is completely shut down by Ace's position here. It's a great example in this replay. You just can't push that until you get rid of that player on the mirror window. So a blunder and a half, I'd say, from FaZe. They needed to reevaluate their strategy, needed to deal with that mirror window before going for that take. Nice shot there from camera at the end, but again, ultimately pointless in that round. Now, 4-4. LeStream have not had a lead through this match, but they are very close to getting one in this round right here. Based on what we've been seeing from these defenses, they seem very comfortable and well, I think their defenses are pretty well thought out. Ooh, they're going to be going for the open Teller's Wall strategy. This will lead to more of a heavy roam from LeStream, and I like to see it. It's good. It's a good way to hold on to Tellers.
Usually requires an ACOG playing at some angle. A lot of teams prefer to put a rook or a dock on the stairs, as you see from the composition. There's only one ACOG that is available, and it's going to be on Uno's Echo. We'll see if he actually has one on it or not, which he does. But you're not really gonna put Echo in a position where he's your main point of entry on that particular part of the site. He's way too valuable, and as you can see from where the yokais are located, from Uno, you're likely going to see those yokais used as information gatherers, not necessarily as plant denial.
Yeah, that's the primary goal there for sure. I mean, I think it also can be used to cover your weak spots. A lot of people, when they see this kind of setup from a defensive team, what they choose to do is hit from square, and that's where FaZe are setting up to take right now, square skylight. And you can cover that with a yokai drone. If you put a yokai drone by archives or in square somewhere, hidden away, just waiting to call out that push, it's a good way to, like you say, gather information and potentially, if necessary, deny that plan. It seems like some good drone work coming out here from FaZe. They're going to detect what kind of opposition they'll be faced with when they go for a site take. But before then, they still need to clear out that top floor, which opened up. Very vulnerable, anyone who pushes into top square, thanks to those mirror windows upstairs.
You need to be a lot more particular when you're confronting a defensive setup like that, because especially with the mirror windows in place, there's a lot of open sight lines that can basically destroy you before you're able to take any real map control away. And FaZe has struggled to take proper map control so far through 2 rounds, but they're going to be gifted it as Alfama down below decides to peek. I don't know why, and Una's now in sight. Oh my goodness, Yuna's just there going for the plant, but Rise will shut him down. Pulls out the shotgun, expecting another, but good crossfires with Mav there. I think FaZe realized that they can do the LeStream strategy, just bull rush right on into the site. A second kill for Mav will come out as he charges on in. He's now holding that diffuser too. He's got Ion with him as covering fire. So Uno will go back onto his yokai drones, reposition Mav, vulnerable for a period of time to get that diffuser down, and nobody from LeStream seems to know at all. A successful defuse in the very first for FaZe on attack, as Uno will now move on in on his own. The rest of FaZe will look to lock it on out as Uno will try for the comeback now, evening things at 2-2. Everybody else is at full HP. Where Cameraman and Ion are playing is incredibly important. Ion will find aces, and that'll leave Uno now in a position where he might not be able to walk away with it. He can't control the bearing 9 at all. It's too unwieldy, and Ion will take it. And Michael, you said it. LeStream has never had a lead in this matchup, and they're going to be denied it for at least another 2 rounds because it's going to be FaZe taking the lead off of a very good read on the way that the Archives Teller setup was. Hey, everybody from LeStream is playing upstairs. Let's just run right into sight. It's free.
Yeah, and I was talking about at the beginning of the round, is usually what you'd have, because that, like I said, most teams consider, when they see this strategy that we saw LeStream setting up on that site, most attacking teams will be like, okay, yeah, we'll just hit it from archives. And most teams on defense, when setting up the strategy that LeStream brought, then consider that kind of a weak point. You have to bolster archives. So usually you'll see like a yokai drone or some kind of extra little point of diligence placed in a position to deny the push that FaZe just gave us. But there wasn't on the side of LeStream. There just wasn't. And I think it was Alfalma who gave away a very early pick, just kind of peeking from archives near the shelves. Definitely made that worse. So huge opportunity gifted to FaZe, and FaZe did not relent. As soon as they saw the opportunity, they're like, yep, that's us. We're going in there. And they're going to take a timeout after that. Beautiful victory, just trying to solidify their lead by planning out the next few rounds.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
FaZe Clan have 3 rounds left until a possible overtime scenario. They're only 2 rounds away from victory. This is the time where you want to recoup. Take a moment to go through those strategies, because right now, the rotation is going to favor LeStream. You've got CCTV and then probably CEO on deck should LeStream prove to be successful in their next defensive stead on CCTV lockers, which is, as of this moment, where LeStream has locked in to go down to. FaZe looked downright bad on CCTV and CEO on the way that they tried to take these 2 sites. And LeStream were better every single step of the way. In terms of holding map control, instead of being able to out-peak and out-muscle every single member of FaZe Clan, FaZe just wandered on in and often lost gunfights and didn't really have much utility to try and save them from losing in what would essentially be a heads-up fight against their opponents. This is a good chance for FaZe to be able to figure things out. And you know that you're going to be working against sites that you're not maybe the most comfortable on, maybe you are, and you just got beaten fair and square, sure. But take a breather, sort it out, and then go from there. So, LeStream will go back downstairs to CCTV lockers, as had been mentioned. The timeout expires, and LeStream will now bring a very heavy lineup. That's 4 3 armors, and then Smoke. So, Smoke and his band of, I would say big boys, but I mean Mira's on the table, so I mean I can't say that, I suppose. And as for what FaZe is bringing, it's a lineup that has so many tools at their disposal. A colorful lineup, sure, but it has the ability to shroud you in smoke. It's got concussions, and you're going to put a lot of pressure on with the hard destruction, as well as most teams are going to be running a Maverick and Thermite combo if Hibana is banned on bank.
Oh, and that's what we see here from FaZe. Standard stuff here. Now, they've done this before. They brought this lineup before on this site. And, oh, it didn't work out. So, can they change that result is the question. Cameraman's going to have some pretty amazing stuff to show us on his Maverick. He is a very efficient Maverick, and that's worth noting. Not everybody is. You can do a lot with that blowtorch. You can open up 2 drop-downs if you do it well. You can open up part of one drop-down and another drop-down, and then also a wall somewhere, which is seemingly what Cameraman likes to do. The Thermite brought will probably be focused on one of those server walls and 1 drop.
He was like the most efficient Maverick. I remember the first time we saw him and how quickly he took out that hatch. And it was on bank, if I remember correctly. We were kind of astonished with how easy he made it look, and he'll be right back at it again.
Huh. Looks like he's going to be opening up the drop-down above server. So because he opens this drop-down, that means one of those exothermic charges is still committed to server wall, right? So that means only one of the drop-downs over in the open area can be opened up. Unless he's going to commit all of his blowtorch to that other drop. I mean, there's options here, but that was an investment and a half there from Cameraman on that drop.
I would imagine he'll do what we've seen a lot of teams do, which is that second hatch that's inside of open area, the one that's actually in open area, not in a small office. He'll likely poke a couple holes in those and then go from there.
Yeah.
It's Electroclawed. So you'll see Cameraman now try to work away and just open up a line of sight, and then likely take out the one that's inside of the small office, which is exactly where Mav is sitting right now, and you can see it's been opened up. So there you go. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You're going to open up the same hatches either way, but that exothermic charge that's in Yuna's hand is going to be so important. Finding out where the Electroclaw is going to be your priority, and there's a soft wall, actually. This is going to be really easy for Astra to be able to take care of it, unless this is a bait from LeStream. Astra will do his best to take out that Electroclaw, allowing freer passage from FaZe Clan once Yuna is able to get the wall open.
Uno's looking for the flank, and he might just find it. He sees the arm of his opponent, but can't land the shot on the head. A little bit of damage done, but the plant's going down all the while, and there's no yokais to deny it. The impacts come out, but it's not enough. The C4 might just be too late, and yes, indeed it is. A 5 versus 5 diffuser plant in default spot of Bank Basement. Ion will get the first kill here onto Hicks. So here comes the slaughter. Mav puts 2 together. Beautiful job. Uno will get his flank, but it might be too little too late, as he's now the last defender alive. He'll have to retake against 4 and get an ace in this round. Can't even take down Mav. A beautiful round there from FaZe Clan, and some serious negligence on the default plant spot by LeStream.
Really well played by FaZe to be able to lock out a push from gold and into the red hallway. You had the Kaid playing on the mirror window from LeStream, who has access to the impact grenades, but instead of tossing any type of plant denial, you toss an impact grenade out. Well, it doesn't do a ton of damage. Sure, it does some damage, but it's not enough to outright kill somebody the same way that a C4 is. It doesn't knock you off the plant the same way a yokai does, and it doesn't force you to maneuver somewhere else in fear of breathing in too much of the toxic gas that comes with smokes canisters. So it's an odd choice of an operator unless the intention is to possibly be throwing out an Electric Claw to trick it. The Electric Claw was already positioned. These are some beautiful shots that we see, and a good opportunity to remind you of the insane precision that we see from players at this level and how tough it can be when you're spotted for just a second. That's all it takes. Ooh. Now, here's something I like.
So, Ella shotgun time.
It was LeStream, then Millennium, who made this very, very prominent within Europe. That was also utilized by Rogue in North America, where you put somebody playing a shotgun at the top of the server stairs with the deployable shield, you batten down the hatches, and you commit as long as you can to burn through the utility from the attackers, then maybe be able to shred somebody who pushes your way. Some teams have done it with Mute, some have done it with Jaeger, some have done it with Valkyrie having a shotgun. In this case, Rise and Hicks both love their Ella shotgun, and it's going to be Hicks playing it in this position.
Yeah, so Hicks is one of those players that, how do I put this? He excels at the odd strategy. If you give Hicks something that just doesn't make, not necessarily doesn't make sense, but it's just weird. Like, you think about it logically, you're like, yeah, okay, it could work. But why would you? Hicks is the sort of player who will take that and turn it into just something amazing. So this isn't too crazy of a thing. We've seen Hicks do much crazier things, like the Fuse pistol shield thing. That was amazing to see from Hicks individually. Yeah, Ella shotgun on server stairs in the hands of Hicks, I think this is going to be a fearsome thing. FaZe is going to have to do a lot of extra work to shut that down or adjust their strategy completely from a server take. We'll see if they choose to invest the utility or just go elsewhere.
It's going to be very similar to what we saw out of, I believe it was Mint on Dark Zero, who was playing on that similar position as a smoke. You've got Rise there on the smoke, a very familiar position for him to play in because he's usually the one on the Ella inflicting all that damage. Now, the good news is that it's a lot easier to take this position now that Capitão's fire arrows have been changed around. Those asphyxiating bolts spread to be quite a large distance, and you can push somebody down quite effectively. If you've opened up the hatch, as we can currently see from Cameraman, then it's almost certain death. Because once you've pushed them back, you have a Zofia in the hands of Astro, you take down that shield, she's got the reduced concussive blast that you're likely gonna see from the Gizmots of Hicks that are gonna be placed in the hallway. Astro's gonna be able to just truck on in and keep trucking as he works his way down. So we'll see exactly what happens here for the time being, but there's been a reluctance from FaZe to push that angle. As you can see, we are almost a minute left in this round, very quickly in, and there hasn't been much of an effort to push off either this Ella or the smoke on server stairs.
They're waiting for those players to make a mistake, and, well, they haven't yet. Both of these players, Rise and Hicks, know that if they just wait, they will be able to deal with this. Ooh, that might have been an exothermic charge there, just impact tricked, but no, doesn't look like it was successful. The drop down in the small office has been opened up, and there's a little line on the drop down in open area. Mav has rotated down to sewers, I believe, and will be coming up below the players inside of server. He's gonna go for a flank on Rise is the one who will have to hold this. Hicks still holding the top of the stairs. He's getting flashed, but he'll win the fight in the first engagement. He's got a second though, potentially on a follow-up. Rise down, holding his flank well. Low HP on Hicks here, but he is still going to get another. Astro though with a double kill, and he'll take down both of the players inside of server. FaZe have lost a lot of utility and a lot of manpower holding on to that server staircase, but they have taken control of it. Now, LeStream only need to deny for 10 more seconds, and it's going to be a straight Hail Mary drop into sight. Alfama, beautiful gunplay here. He will not win the second gunfight, though, and this is going to be Astro putting more kills on the board. Well, Uno will get the final one. LeStream take that round in pretty solid fashion.
is a valiant effort, but FaZe was just so slow to the punch.
Yeah.
Waiting for everybody to get in position, sure, but you have to ensure that they're getting there fast enough. You cannot begin to push server knowing that you have to translate the rest down to the actual site that's inside of CCTV or lockers with only a minute to go. There's just simply not enough time, especially not when you're down an exothermic charge, an invaluable tool to be able to open up that wall and get the plant down inside of CCTV. Yuna was the first person from FaZe to push the server stairs, and he got shredded by Hicks. If it wasn't for Astro coming on in, that really could have gone even worse for FaZe, and it's hard to be worse than the round that they already lost, but they could have lost it even more decisively. Now, part of the reason why the timeout was taken from FaZe is that they likely assumed that at some point, if they lose CCTV, CEO is next on the docket. And that's exactly where we find ourselves, as LeStream will go towards what could be their final defense. Depends on whether or not we see overtime, at which point both teams will be given at minimum 1 round to defend. CEO went in favor of LeStream last time. In fact, it was mostly a lifeless push from FaZe through the main lobby where they got cut down every single step of the way and didn't really show the same power that FaZe has shown in the latter half of their attacking rounds. I think it's safe to say that FaZe has gotten more comfortable over the last 3 rounds as they've been able to iron out some of the issues that they had with their attacking strats.
They certainly seem that way, though that last round, they didn't have much of an adjustment to what we saw from Hicks and Rise on those stairs. That was the one big speed bump that FaZe just couldn't overcome. What kind of speed bump is LeStream going to present to us this time on CEO? It seems like it was going to be an ATM's run out, and it might actually have been. Here comes the run in from Astro to counter the run out, and Uno goes down. Free kills. Astro says thank you, and he'll get back to his job, rappelling above ATMs.
Astro can just get otherworldly when he's on and just ascend to this incredible level, which is why he goes by Super Astro in a couple games that we've seen from time to time, but is not adopting the moniker this time.
You know, I think he actually plays better when he has that super prefix.
I like that you also used to have Super Liven, who used to be on this LeStream team back when it was Millennium still, so I think it imbues them with a sense of power.
It certainly does. Now, Uno being gone, he was trying to, again, present a speed bump in that he ran out from ATMs. Did not work out, but I'm sure he put fear into the hearts of his enemy as he went down on the main lobby stairs. And there's going to be information here, lots of marks coming out on the side of FaZe Clan. You can see that they're aware that Rise and Hicks are playing the positions that they are. The shield might work out, but it's still a dangerous hold for the Maestro.
This is a position where you know that Hicks is going to be in a fight for his life against Astro. You got a cameraman there waiting to see if there's going to be a rotate, because if Hicks loses, even if Hicks doesn't lose, there's likely going to be somebody from LeStream that's going to be coaxed on out of wherever they're sitting on site right now. It's going to be Alfama, but there's going to be nobody from FaZe to be able to trade off of Astro, as there's a big play from LeStream to cut down the first member of FaZe who's trying to be point man for their team.
We've seen this from FaZe before. When they're attacking top floor, they tunnel into, and well, I suppose funnel into this main lobby staircase, and it gets them killed every single time. It's going to be difficult for them to actually deal with this dilemma, but they will. Ion takes down Hicks from behind. Beautiful piece of teamwork there from FaZe. Rise will take down Yuna, though, so they're not going unpunished. Rise still holding on to reception, and he's trying to challenge Banana. It's not an easy fight, and he'll lose it. Ion gets his other kill. There you go. Ion putting more on the board. Rise is down. It's just Aces in a 1 versus 2 after he gets to Ion, finally shutting that player out of this round. Ace is in a great spot to deny this push from Banana. He only has to do it for 25 more seconds, and it'll be overtime. He gets one and the other. A beautiful double kill there by Aces. 3 in the round, and we get overtime.
Of course he shows up as big as he does, and he gets credited for the fact that FaZe stacked up a little bit too much. That carbine has long held the distinction of being one of the best weapons in the entire game, and one of the best on defense, and of course, it's going to chew through anything that it finds. FaZe Clan committing a pretty big error with that play, and it might come back to haunt them depending on what happens over the next 3 rounds, or possibly 2 rounds of overtime.
Yeah.
Good for LeStream is that they're going to go right back onto defense, so that momentum that they've had is not going to break for the time being.
At least there is that, but you know what? If you're FaZe right now, I gotta imagine that you're kicking yourselves, because that was just due to a stack up. Watch here. It's really simple. They lined up. They presented an opportunity to Aces, and Aces is one of those players that he just hits his shots. You give him 2 targets, and he will land the bullets that are required. And like you said, with that carbine on Jaeger, forget about it. Just about as good as it could have gotten there for Aces. Still around that Aces, or rather, FaZe seemed in the position to win, just couldn't make it happen in the end. Now, it'll be a basement defense here for LeStream to start things off. Now, on overtime, of course, it goes back and forth and back. So we will see LeStream defend twice and FaZe defend once.
So far, both teams have been 4-2 on their defensive holds. So you got to imagine that it's going to favor LeStream. But I mean, we might have thought that with Nora, Rengo, and Fnatic just 2 games ago, and it didn't work out because that one time on Border, well, what ended up happening was the attackers won all their rounds instead of the defenders winning it, as we've come to anticipate. So worth noting is LeStream will go up to CEO, I would imagine, if they win CCTV and need to defend a second time, and that's going to work in their favor because LeStream was perfect there both times. That does not bode well for FaZe, but in overtime, sometimes you throw wisdom out of the window. Now, if you look at LeStream's setup, very similar to what we just saw with that Ella and Smoke combo on the server stairs, and FaZe took way too long to be able to cut through that. And it was to their detriment. They ended up losing that round. Realistically, they lost that round before they even hit the site because they bled too much, too early. If, with the tools that are at FaZe Clan's disposal, they are able to dislodge those defenders playing on server stairs by the 1-minute mark with taking minimal casualties in the process, then this is going to bode very well for their chances.
What is this? There's a mirror window facing into server from A wall. That is so curious. There is a heavy stack on a server hold here from LeStream, and it's just something you don't see every day. Now, what we need to see from FaZe because of this is, oh, okay.
This is actually fascinating. If you can play far enough back, you can deprive the Thatcher, or the Thermite rather, from going onto that wall.
Yeah, it's possible. It's certainly possible. I mean, especially with the shotgun DMR combination that Aces is wielding. He's got the ACOG on there. FaZe, again, taking a really long time to do anything. They're trying to get server control. They're trying to run their default strategy, and it's costing.
Mav's going to head on through the sewers as the rest of FaZe assemble up top. You've still got Hicks on server stairs as well, who's now going to come back to site. There's a cacophony of explosions going off as all the flashbangs get thrown towards where Hicks's location used to be, but he got away scot-free. So he's still downstairs inside a server, but would you look at that? 50 seconds left, and these asphyxiating bolts are not going to grow big enough to tickle Hicks at all. Mav is coming in behind him, and Hicks might not be any the wiser, and it's an easy opening frag for FaZe, but they don't have a lot of time to go. Yuna's going to need to get this exothermic charge down as all of LeStream have fallen off, and this ejected Miro strategy that we saw that might have been a good opportunity for the defense to hold on will go nowhere. FaZe now trying to jostle on in, fighting for every inch they can get. A C4 gets expended along with the toxic canister, but nobody from FaZe has even tried to attempt a plant just yet. In fact, it's Yuna who's going to run on in and go for a different plant spot. The smoke is going to shroud, and Alfama will pick on out. It's his own teammate. Smokes, no! Alfama, turn around! You're not looking the right way! Oh my goodness, and it's going to be Yuna to take him down with Mav there as well! Oh my, the calamity from LeStream, where if Uno just had it turned around and Alfama had it turned around, that would have been it. A big kill from Rise, trying to figure out where Ion and Mav are positioned now will be the main focus for LeStream. It's Mav up top. They'll sit and perch themselves over these openings that have been created earlier on in the drop downs. Mav waiting very patiently to re-engage. He's got one stun grenade left to possibly blind anybody in that line of sight, but the time is getting very close to the point of no return. Uno doesn't really have a choice. Rise perfectly blinded. There's Mav. He'll take Uno down, looking for the final one. It'll be Ion, and that will be match point yet again for FaZe. A beautiful play and great strategy to be able to run on in, and poor Alfama not turning around and seeing the immobile Yuna behind him perched on top of the table. That could have very easily been a LeStream victory.
You know what? And I was sitting here thinking, if Yuna just went for a plant, you know, when he wasn't in the smoke, it would have been fine. But he had to go for the desk, and I thought that was going to cost him in time. I thought that was going to be the inefficient strategy. But as it turns out, Because he went so deep and so far on that desk, so many players just didn't see him. It's actually hilarious. So great job there to FaZe. They played that perfectly. On the other hand, LeStream, some pretty serious mistakes there. And, well, I mean, they did deserve to lose that round.
I mean, you can't even really say that FaZe capitalized on that, right? Because
Not really,
was
no.
already planting when Alfama walked through the smoke. 2 sets of smokes, in fact. Not just 2 smoke grenades, but also a smoke canister from the operator smoke. Hope you're not confused by that. And doesn't bother to turn around. And when he does turn around, knowing that the defuse went down, assuming that it was in the default plant spot, which is a pretty safe assumption to make.
Yeah.
He turns around and Yuna is off the plant and wins the fight.
You know what else, though? The C4 from LeStream, from the Mira, was wasted trying to deny an exothermic charge. The impacts weren't there to use on the Mira window that was opened up. They instead committed to the C4, and it was too little, it was too late. It was after the exothermic charge had already detonated. No kills came of it, which meant that the only denial were gas canisters. Because there was only gas canisters in hand, you saw that Alfama actually had to get aggressive. And yeah, he looked the wrong way, but I mean, that's LeStream playing themselves just ever so slightly. And now they're going to have to attack onto FaZe Clan's basement defense.
And if you look at the way that the setup from FaZe Clan is coming out, it's going to be pretty similar, actually. Though Astro's going to be involved with Uno, it's going to be an altercation to start things off 30 seconds into the round, and it's going to be both of them walking away a little bit worse for wear. There's no dock on the board for the defense, though there is a Thatcher being brought. We mentioned this on CCTV. All of the tools that are being brought from FaZe,
nobody saw anything.
Countered quite heavily by a Thatcher. Appeared to be a bit of a miss smoke.
Nobody saw anything.
Nobody saw anything. My apologies, Michael. No. I was mistaken. Very important that you conceal yourself while doing soft destruction above the stairs.
Yep.
Yes, very, very important.
Super relevant strats.
That might actually end up being a critical failure for LeStream.
Yeah, so if we want to dive on that, that actually could cost LeStream the round pretty easily.
That's their only set of smokes, and you've lost one of the 2.
Yeah, and you have to cover... Well, you have to cover 2 smokes worth of ground when you're attacking in through server, so...
Right, usually you want to take out the mirror window that's going to be down in CCTV, and then the other's likely going to go somewhere near the door, maybe over towards the door that leads over towards red. That could end up being a significant issue, and that kind of mistake, with how close these 2 teams have been, that might end up being the round. But that's something that we can discuss in the post, because for 90 seconds so far, there's still been a focus from LeStream on taking control of server. Sounds like a toxic canister is going to go out, and yet another, as Hicks is going to stare right in towards the doorway. He's still got the deployable shield on up. All of the EMP grenades from Hicks are gone. Yeah. Which means that you're not going to be able to do anything with the Pulse that's going to be playing inside of gold. You're not going to be able to do anything to possibly take out any Evil Eyes if you haven't taken care of them yet. Uno's going to fall down, and Alfama also losing his HP as Rise is inside of the garage. Oh, he's got a beautiful opportunity with the 2 kills, taking out the remainder of Astro, who had seen some action earlier on. But Ion will counter punch, taking Aces down. Yuna will now emerge, putting himself in a fight against Alfama, as Yuna is anchored down inside of the elevator. Not a lot of time here for the rest of this team to work up to. Ion has been huge in the second half, and with FaZe currently sitting on match point, they're going to need more from him. Alfama falls now too, and Rise, who has the 2 kills for LeStream, will need to find the rest. He'll take out Ion and immediately fire in towards lockers, assuming that there's going to be somebody there. He doesn't know the positioning of the remaining members of the team. A great look of concentration as he furrows his brow, and with the drone getting shot beautifully, he knows the location of one. He suspects that the other is going to be inside of the elevator, but he's running out of time. And this is going to be the biggest impediment for Rise. With FaZe looking to try to put the map away, Rise is going to have very limited information, very limited time. He'll rush on up, pistol out, but he'll get cut down. Yuna will secure the victory, and FaZe will take map 1 after a bit of a scary set of circumstances. They'll find themselves taking LeStream's map 8-6 and set us up for Oregon, for FaZe to possibly close this series out.
A beautiful round there from all involved. We almost saw a clutch from Rise, but it just was not enough. He's an absolutely insane player, but still, not enough. You could see LeStream, I think, a little bit shocked. Well, what just happened? That was their map, as you noted. I think LeStream expected to be able to take bank pretty handily, but not the case. FaZe putting together some pretty amazing strategies. One thing I want to highlight is Ion's performance in that round. He got 3 kills. That one right there is the one that stands out the most to me. Aces would have been the flank, would have been control of B, would have been so much in that round for LeStream, and he is capable of it, but Ion just did Aces one better in that moment.
Yeah, there was great individual performances from both teams. Aces did wake up towards the latter half of the game. So did Ion as well. There was a point where I think we were 6 or 7 rounds in. Ion was 1 and 5, and I know that you don't necessarily want to always bring that up, because depending on their role, being 1 and 5 is perfectly acceptable depending on what they're doing. But when he decided to take on a new job of getting kills on this team, the rest of FaZe rose alongside him, and it was the difference maker ultimately. Now we'll see what they can do on map 2, but before we get there, we have the analysts to break down map number 1.